Hi everyone, it is 7 o'clock. No, it's not, it is 7:30 and I am back with our second demo. And this is what we're calling Fragrant Flavors. So everybody who knows Epicure knows we are all about flavor. It is about seasoning your meats and your vegetables and things like that without all the extra stuff. So you can shop around the grocery store, pick up your meat, pick up your vegetables, and add your seasonings. So Fragrant Flavors, Epicure has brought back some of, I got peas on my hand, sorry about that, is brought a couple international flavors back and has introduced 2 new international flavors. So I see that people are starting to pop up. As mentioned in the earlier one, my husband Gord is here, so say hi. Would love to know where you're signing in from, because I know I have people from all across Canada now, which is really exciting to me. If you wouldn't mind letting me know if you are new, I would love to know that you've come and joined me. If there's any way I can help, let me know. We are going to talk international fragrant flavors. So they have brought back, Epicure has brought back 2 favorites. One being the chili seasoning in sort of, I didn't bring them with me, but in the jar. So a chili seasoning in the jar. For the last couple of years, we've had the cha-cha chili, which is a meal package solution. And they just discontinued that as of yesterday. And they are now back to the jar. So there's the chili seasoning is back. And one of the other ones, which I know is going to be back with rave reviews from everybody, because I get this request easily, probably every couple months. Do you have pizza seasoning? So they have brought it back. So Epicure has brought back their pizza seasoning. It's sort of like a tomato, parmesan-y, typical basil, oregano, those kinds of flavors that you can just mix with your tomato sauce and put it on your pizzas. But you can just use it as a seasoning again, just like everything. So those are the 2 that they've brought back. For some people, it'll be brand new because you're new to Epicure, but those have been sort of staples for many, many years, and then they were discontinued for a while. So they're back. If you are excited to have them back, I'd love to hear, maybe mention, oh, Gord's shaking his head that people are excited that they're back. So, yay, Epicure. The other 2 flavors. So one that I'm not going to be demoing tonight is the Yaki Udon. Sure, I'm not saying that right. Basically a noodle dish. It's sweet, savory. You would cook your udon noodles, which are usually fresh. You buy fresh udon noodles in the grocery store, and you just boil them quickly and then take them off the heat and cool. So you do a noodle. But if you don't have noodles, that's okay. Don't do it with noodles. But you have noodles. If you do it by this recipe, you're basically going to take this seasoning package, put it with your chicken, a little bit of water, low sodium soya sauce, and you put it in a wok, and you're going to heat it up and let that kind of come into your meat. You're going to add your vegetables, cook that all up, and then you're going to throw those noodles in there, and you'll have this meal on your table. Delicious. Other things you might use it for, you could use it as a marinade. You could use it again as just a seasoning. I've heard like a hot pot. We don't eat a lot of hot pots, but you could use this as a seasoning for your hot pot and then just cook whatever you have in there, which I think would be really cool. So that's the Yaki Udon, which is Japanese. And then the other one that they've brought is Indian, Aloo Gobi, which is one of my, I may not be saying it right, but that's okay. Aloo Gobi is how I say it, or maybe Gobi, is an Indian savory vegetable dish. Aloo equals potato and gobi equals cauliflower. So those are the vegetables we're going to be putting in ours tonight. But again, with everything with Epicure, if you're not a cauliflower fan or you're not a potato fan, throw whatever vegetables you have. Like, this is a seasoning. So it's along the lines of sort of a curry type seasoning. So that's what we're going to make. And what I have done is I have already, in between, I chopped up stuff, and in our steamer, I will just mention, again, just in case there's anybody new on here, this is our multi-purpose steamer. You'll see there's a couple vents there. You always want those away from you and not towards the handle. If this was really, really hot, like it just sort of steamed me a little bit, you want to have that vent away from you. So all I did was I softened up the potatoes and cauliflower. So all I did was take a cauliflower head, chopped it up, and my husband graciously chopped up the potato, and now those are ready to be going into our meal. Has anybody had Aloo Gobi like in the restaurants, and do you like it? Are you excited about this one? I am. So this will be my first time trying it, but I will sample it at the open house next week. So what we're gonna do, this is a stovetop one. We are going to just put in, I already put 1 tablespoon in. Hopefully you can still hear me. We put about 2 tablespoons of oil in here, and we're going to heat that up. Heat it up. I'm going to get my saute spoon. And all we're going to do is we are going to pot, it just basically says we're going to steam the vegetables, and you can do that in a pot if you don't have a steamer, however you want to pre-cook your vegetables. And then all we're going to do is heat 2 tablespoons over medium-high heat. We're going to add the seasoning, so just the seasoning to the oil to bring out those flavors and sort of make that fragrance come up. And then we're going to add the potatoes and cauliflower. We're going to stir in a can of lentils, which I've just rinsed, just because you don't need to sit here and watch me rinse lentils. We are going to add rinsed lentils, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and a 1/2 cup of water. And we're basically just going to cook that, heat it to reduce down, and then we're going to cover it until potatoes are tender, and then we're going to stir in peas. And again, this will be way too long to have you sit and watch me stir this, but I just wanted to show you, I wanted to smell it and sort of give you an idea of what it smells like. So, I'm sure this isn't quite hot yet. But I will remind you again, if you like new things and you like new flavors, the taste of the season is the way to try it all. You can get one of everything. Oh, this just smells just like in the restaurant when you, but you can make it at home in 20 minutes or less. So probably what I would have been doing was heating up this while the potatoes were in here. Like, I kind of do things a bit differently for demonstrations, just so I can show you. Oh, that smells delicious. Okay. I'll just show you. And I always say I wish I had smell-o-vision. So there's the pan, and you can just see all those flavors in here. They are quite fragrant. So we're going to put that back on the heat, because that's come up on heat. And we're basically just going to add those things that I said. So we're going to add the potatoes and the cauliflower. I'm going to make sure that those get covered really well before I add the rest of the ingredients. I find cauliflower is great for flavors because it doesn't have much flavor of its own, so it catches everything else. I don't know if you guys can, but yep. I hope you can. You can? Okay. Out of what I've shared tonight, is anything sort of catching your attention, ones that you're really excited to try? We're going to be moving on to sweeter things after this. I'll put the water in. Oh, if you guys could smell this, it smells delicious. So I guess I always want to try and tell you some other things that you might be able to use this for, just in case you don't want to spend the time to do this, or how you can use it in additional meals. So you could use this as a seasoning, even just for your quinoa, and make like a quinoa power bowl, where you would use quinoa instead of lentils, or you could just use lentils in a salad. So if you followed me before, I used to do these jar salads where I put the salad dressings and quinoa and your vegetables and your chicken. You shake it all up. You could do this and have like an Indian flavored one. So it could actually almost act like your vinaigrette on it. So you could make, we used to carry something called a pakora, which is basically just curried vegetables. And I'm just going to add the tomato paste. And I realized I didn't talk a little bit about my the 4-in-1 spice spoon. This is a must-have for every kitchen. It has a tablespoon, a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, and a quarter teaspoon. Once you have these, we have a couple, so that if obviously one's in the wash, you have another one going. But the fact that you don't have to pull all your different spoons apart. So I was saying, pakora, just little vegetables mixed with seasoning. So you could make like a curried pakora with something like this. Pakora being, usually it's like zucchini and carrots and those kinds of things. And you basically slice them really thin. We have our mandolin, which works really well for that. Slice them really thin, and then you just mush them together with the seasoning, and then you would cook them. So you could either, if you're a big air fryer, you could put them in an air fryer, you could put them in the oven, or you could pan fry them. So that's what that sort of smells like to me. You could also just make like a curry out of it. If you were to mix it with a milk of your choice and make a curry. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let that simmer here. Unfortunately, in this kitchen, I don't have a proper lid to put on this, which would obviously be better because it would steam in the flavors. But we were just going to let this sit. It smells so good. We're going to cover it over, let it simmer. When it's done, we're going to add a half cup of peas. We just use frozen peas. And then what it asks for is for yogurt. And I always give this as a tip. If you don't eat a lot of yogurt and a lot of things, buy the little sample cup ones versus buying a big tub. Then you can just use as much as you want. So we're going to let that simmer. We'll probably eat some of our crispy little chips, flatbread with it. And then we're going to put the peas in there, put a little bit of yogurt on the top, and then put a little bit of cilantro, which is how they suggest for serving it. So I'm going to have Gord pop back up. And for this draw, I don't think there's any questions. No questions on this one. Pretty easy meal. Just cut up your vegetables and put it in. You can have your choice. So if you like kind of the sweeter, garlicky Yaki Udon, you can do the Aloo Gobi, so which is the Indian one, which we're doing. But if you'd like, you can always come next Saturday to my open house in person, and you can try them. I'm going to let everybody sample them because Epicure is about tasting. So I'm going to have Gord pop up. Good luck with the draw. Oh, I'll just stir this while he's still coming.
Hi everybody, me again. So we've got a few more names for this draw. And as mentioned, if you won last time, Nancy, you can't win for this draw. So good luck, everybody. Oops, I accidentally turned it off. So bear with me for just a second while I go back to the, there we go. Here we go, let's see who wins. Darlene.
Woohoo! And Darlene, you probably have a whole bunch of ideas going through your head what you could do with this flavor profile. So let me know which one you would like by just putting it in your comments. Yaki Udon or Aloo Gobi. So really appreciate you guys again coming on and joining me. Wish I could share this with you tonight, but I can't. But I will share little samples with you next Saturday. So 8 p.m. come back. I'm going to show you something baked with love. Talk to you soon, guys. Thanks for joining me.